Some of the hottest companies I've seen this year are either content presentation companies like Paper.li or Flipboard, or content curation systems like Pearltrees, Storify, and Curated.by. But today, the shared web is going to change my ideas about everything. Who are you?
So my name is Kareem Amin, and I actually came from Egypt to North America. I started studying at McGill University and ended up at Microsoft as a program manager. And through this little journey, I met a couple of really good friends, and we decided to start a company called the Shared Web in order to solve a problem that we noticed that we were having. Something that we always talked about is, what are you reading? What are you looking at online? And what we realized is that what each other is reading is extremely interesting to us, and all of it is, this information isn't being shared. Not enough of it is being shared on Facebook or Twitter, perhaps because people don't want to flood each other. And what we decided to do is to build a platform for social curation that allows people like me and my friends to do just that.
Okay, and it seemed like when you showed it to me, it had a few different pieces. One was like a pagination piece that presented almost a newspaper to me based on my social connections, right?
Sure. So, I mean, the way we approach this is we feel pretty passionately about user experience presentation, and you mentioned Flipboard a little while ago, and it actually got released while we were working on this, and it's incredibly inspirational to see great work like that. And what we're doing is we're saying that this concept of recreating sharing in a magazine format is really interesting, and we're using that for our consumption experience. We're using that to say, here's the most interesting things to you, and using our design to complement our functionality. So bigger things on the screen are more relevant to you, instead of just seeing a stream of links and the top one is the most relevant. Using the visuals to complement essentially the functions that we want to have presented.
Yeah.
And the second thing that you mentioned was what we internally call the slick reader. And it's a concept that's based on the fact that using our technology, we're able to know ahead of time what you would like to see in different topics because of the way that different people have shared it, the social curation aspect. So your friends selecting things in different topics that you're interested in,
yep.
And our algorithm that bubbles up this information. So what we do is we prefetch what's coming next and give you this flipping experience through it that allows you to browse the internet as if it's locally downloaded to your hard disk.
And it's very much like Stumble Upon, where I can just keep clicking next, 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 and go through a lot of pages really fast without waiting for them. It's
exactly,
really nice.
and as you're reading a particular article, if it's a lengthy article, if it's a video, we're just loading the next things that are going to come for you.
Very cool. When you first start the system and you put your Twitter and your Facebook, what are you looking at? What are you? Because I have 27,000 people in Twitter coming to me. And obviously, you're not going to show every tweet by 27,000 people because it would be 80 pages long.
So we do a couple of interesting things. One is that we're just focused on web content, right? So you mentioned Curated.by, which is curating individual tweets, anything, and 25% of tweets contain links. So we've already cut 75% of the other stuff, because what we're saying is that Twitter wasn't designed for broadcasting and discovering content, but in some ways people are using it to do that now. And we want to focus just on that. So that already eliminates a lot of stuff. And then the second part is that you're probably on the edge case of number of people that have number of followers. But what we do is a very simple semantic analysis of the different things that people are sharing to recommend to you topics that you may be interested in. So for you, it would be very easy where you could say technology. There's a high bias towards technology articles that you may be interested in. And
I would expect to see some wine in there. I would expect to see some, other thing, music.
Yeah.
I see a lot of music tweets.
Yeah. And so we suggest a set of high-level topics. And once you select a few of them, we start to improve on that as you use our product more. Okay. So we do a very simple analysis to give you a set of high-level topics. And once you confirm which ones you like, we can give you interesting content in them.
Okay, and you showed me how that worked for Andy Sack, and he had tech and other topics that
yeah, Seattle tech startups, as we know, he's pretty passionate about that.
Yeah.
So the way that it works would be that we pull in the sharing that's happening on Twitter and Facebook, we organize it into different topics, and then we show it to you in a beautiful layout. But that's not the major idea here. The major idea, this is just a way to give you immediate feedback, because we know that people are already sharing on these sites. But the core idea is to democratize curation. And the same way that blogging democratized writing, it opened it up for everybody, we want to open up the curation for everybody. And by curation, I mean seeing something that's interesting and recommending it to the right audience through a topic.
Okay.
Right? And kind of the
so you're not doing collecting like Curated.by or Storify are doing. You're actually doing pushing an item to a specific audience that's interested in that. So.
Exactly. So I can explain it to you. I mean, the idea behind curation is we're saying the analogy is today you have editors, the editor of the New York Times or the editor of Vogue, and they do something very valuable. They select the most interesting content so you don't have to waste your time. But now there's so much information from so many sources that we need to democratize that process. You need to have your friends, but not just your friends, experts too, the people whose taste you trust, to curate for you in the topics that you care about. And in order to do that, what we've built is a product with two sides to it. Right? So the consumption side we've talked about.
Yep.
But the really interesting part is the sharing side. We want people to share more on our site. And what we've done there is lower the barriers to sharing. So we've built a site that's only dedicated to web content. You can't say that you're waiting for a cab right there, or you want to eat a particular sandwich. It's not about that. It's about web content. And it's structured, so there's different topics. You can tune into the things you care about and tune out of the ones that you don't. And then we've made everything as easy as clicking. So you take a bookmarklet, or you can send it to us by email. We have multiple input methods, but using the bookmarklet, you would just click on the topics that you're interested in, and that's it. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to essentially come up with anything easier than just clicking.
Very cool. How are you guys going to make money?
So we have a couple of different methods. I mean, right now we're at the stage where we're focusing mainly on the product, but in terms of our monetization strategy, we have advertising is the clearest model, and there's two things there, two metrics that really matter. Increasing the CPM, the page impressions, and increasing the click-through rates. And we think we can do both of these because having highly relevant content to you will let you spend more time and see more page impressions. And having highly specific topics lets you increase the click-through rate by monetizing customer intent. So picture Seattle tech startups. I can put an ad, same strategy as Google, right? That says, meetups in Seattle, buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Where you're more likely to click on it. But that's not the big idea. The big idea here is building the interest graph and opening up an API for other publishers and other sites to customize their site. Essentially, what we're doing is saying, here's what you're interested in. You're telling us, in a sense. You are curating, so we know what you're sharing most in, and also you're consuming through us. So we know exactly what you click on, right? Which things you thanked your friends. We have a feature where you can thank a friend for sharing an interesting article, right? We're building what you're interested in. So we leave, and what we're really excited about is that today is the perfect time for this. In order to build our product, we needed somebody to figure out the social graph. And Facebook and Twitter have already done that, and lots of thanks to them for that. And we can build on top of what they've done and start figuring out what is the interest graph and start to personalize the web for you.
Interesting. Can I look at other people's interest graphs? Can I look at yours, for instance? Because you might be really good at curating music or restaurants, and I might be tech, and Andy Sack is really good at Seattle VC. Can I look at like Andy's page and then your page?
That's exactly the point,
okay.
right?
Very cool.
That's exactly it. And then you can also select the people who you want to see stuff from in different topics. So I might say, Robert Scoble, show me in technology, but maybe don't show me in wine. Not that I'm sure that we have similar tastes, and I would respect it. But I'm just, as an example, that's kind of what we would do.
Okay. And where do I learn more about it?
So it's www.thesharedweb.com.
Okay.
And right now we have a landing page where you can put in your email. We have a closed private beta. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be opening it up to more and more people.
Okay.
So yeah, please sign up, and we'll show you more.
Very cool. And are you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter. I haven't been very active, but
well, we expect you to get more.
Yeah. So it's Kareem Amin,
Okay.
It's at Kareem Amin. It's Kareem and then Amin.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Robert.